What's up again, guys? Yo, it's me, Dovahkiin, and welcome back to my Anno 2205 miniseries. And before we begin, be sure to hit on the subscribe button for more great videos. Alright. In the previous episode, I showcased Cape Ambar, and its sunken arc that generates graphene, the most sought after rare material. In today's vid, I'm gonna feature the next sector that I acquired after that, Greentide Archipelago, which is included with the Frontiers DLC, along with the Madrigal Islands, which I've already featured, and Sabbath Province. But Greentide Archipelago is sort of the main feature sector of this DLC. It has a buildable area of 82,100 acres, 17 mountain, and 25 coastal building sites. By the way, this is just a screenshot from a level 1 corporation, so the required level and current cost only reflect the values for that level. Also, the owner of this sector, Ibarra Foxcom in this case, may be different from yours, cause they are random for each playthrough. Alright, let's load up Greentide Archipelago. On credit balance, Greentide Archipelago is earning 382,000 plus credits. As per population on the other hand, my total there is at 239,000 plus. Now on its roll on my corporate goods network. Greentide Archipelago supplies the needs of Sabbath Province, namely, vitamin drinks, luxury food, diamonds and replicators. It also gets its Arctic needs from there, specifically, neuroimplants and quantum computers. For lunar goods on the contrary, it gets its rare earth elements, bio-enhancers, anti-grav compensators and energy from Novikov crater. As per surplus goods, it forwards them all to Wildwater Bay, the goods hub of my temperate region. Okay, let's enter Greentide Archipelago.
Communication systems, online.
Back in episode 2 when I detailed Wildwater Bay, I've already showcased my housing and production layouts. So to have an idea of what I'm talking about, especially on clusters, please watch that episode. However, this sector is quite unique, cause it demands specific tiers and numbers of residents on certain islands. And that is because of this central structure, the synthetics mainframe. Which brings us to Greentide Archipelago's sector project, unlocking the synthetics. There are 6 surrounding islands linked to the mainframe. And again, each island requires a minimum number of residents from a specific population tier. But to make things easier, you really don't have to follow the rules. So what I did was build 2 conventional clusters on the 6th island, the one at the northwest, which requires 100,000 investors and 50 rare earth elements to activate. Once these clusters had fully grown, I started complying with the residential requirements of the other islands. The first island, this one at the northeast, requires 150 workers. Take note, to control the growth of residences, you must turn off automatic promotions and do it manually. Also, make sure that you don't construct the public buildings that will allow him to do so. On this second island at the east, you'll need 250 operators, and 50 constructor bots to activate the reactor. Next, the third island at the southeast requires 500 operators, and 50 aluminum. Now on the fourth island at the southwest, you gotta have 1,000 executives, and 50 microchips to activate the reactor. And finally, the fifth island at the west requires 2,500 executives, and 50 super alloys. This is the most difficult one to lay out, because the space here is very limited. Anyway, I've also built another cluster here at the far east, outside of the 6 islands, just to make this sector more profitable. But I've built this after activating all the reactors. Okay, let's go back to the 6th island. If you observe carefully, compared to my normal clusters, the ones here have more investor residences than usual. I even have to build extra public buildings just to satisfy their needs. That is because, as I've mentioned earlier, the requirement of 100,000 investors. On a side note, I've also managed to squeeze in a trading floor here.
Mission objectives achieved. I am feeling something. Pride, perhaps?
The synths buildings look awesome, because they tower over investors, and they produce a ton of workforce. As you can see, 384 per complex. Their needs are also lesser than the normal population. However, and this is a big trade-off, they don't generate income. So upgrading all your investors to synthetics is also the fastest way to go bankrupt. Now back to the quest line. After activating all the reactors, and promoting an investor building to synths, you would have finished phase 4. And it's time to do the final phase, housing 100,000 synthetics in your temperate region. So let's go back to the strategy map. I have 15,000 in Greentide Archipelago, and in each temperate sector, except for Wildwater Bay, which has 25,000 synths. Thus, for a grand total of exactly 100,000, which rewarded me with the holographic sculpture ornamental building. Apart from what the final quest requires, I don't want to go for more synthetics population, cause again, they don't generate revenue. Alright, let's return to discuss the other details of this sector. As per my production zones, my rice farms are at the west of the 6th island. My vitamin drinks facilities are at the farther west. At the far northwest island, lies my synth cells and rejuvenators production. My microchips and IntelliWare factories are at the far southeast. At the north you can find my luxury food facilities. And farther north lies my synaptic circuits, replicators, multi-spec prisms and androids factories. And finally, on random sector traits. I've geo-engineered Greentide Archipelago to have cultivated minerals, which boosts the production of all mines by 10%. And there you go. So, like how this video started, now let's end it with another spectacular drone shot. And that's all there is for now. Thanks for watching. Also, check out other videos from Sabbath Clan Philippines and don't forget to subscribe. See you on my next vid. Peace out, y'all.